I was following the 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 winter rose.
Here it is. This is the Winter Rose. This is an 8-panel blue, gray, and beige plaid polyester cap. In Boston Scally's own words, this cap features beige and blue plaid with a dark blue leatherette brim and interior that highlights the icy Winter Rose logo. Here is the cap in hand. This is the Winter Rose by Boston Scally Company. This is a brand new release as of this video. And wow, look at that pen go by. This is a really nice looking cap. I like this a lot. As you can see, you have this really nice blue in here, the grays, and then the off-white, what Boston Scally calls the beige. So this is a really nice looking cap. And what's really funny about this cap is a lot of the times when I buy these Boston Scally caps, my wife tends to be pretty indifferent. She's fine with me buying them, of course, but you know, there's only so many that she'll really want to take a look at and put on her head maybe and see how they look. One was the Braun. She really liked the Braun cap, the red plaid Braun. She loved that cap, and she really liked the Scarecrow. Now, I think most people like the Scarecrow. That, as I said in that review, which has been a little while now, that cap is always a head turner. People are really interested in that cap because of the stitching, just the nice fall colors in that cap. So that is very understandable. But this was one that when she saw this cap on the Boston Scally site, or rather when I showed it to her on the Boston Scally site, she really liked it. I was actually the one who wasn't all about this cap. At first I was like, nah, but I was like, well, if she likes it, that gives me an excuse, right? Now I have to get it. If she likes the cap, I'm going all in. So that is what happened, and I went ahead and I did get this cap. Now, what is interesting about the pen? Oh, here it is, by the way. Here is the pen for the Winter Rose cap. And now this pen, has not sold out as of yet. I don't think in any sizes, but this pen went, I believe, within a day. This pen was sold out, and it is a really cool looking pen. I think it complements this cap really well. It looks really good on this cap, as you could tell in that picture there, and I like the pen. I'm not gonna say I like the pen more than the cap, but this is a cool versatile pen, and I think the reason it sold out so quickly is because this is a pen that you could put on so many different caps, even of course out of Boston Scally's lineup, but any cap, I think, so many, not any, but so many other options that this pen could go on, because it's such a really, really pretty pen, and I think it does a good job of exemplifying winter. The pen does, even more so than the cap, because when I first saw the cap, I was anticipating maybe something more of the beige being more of a white instead of an off-white, and I'm still holding out for the light blue. I still really want that color. Oh, but while we are discussing colors, here is the interior. See, I was expecting maybe more of that on the cap instead of the dark blue, but there you do have the Winter Rose logo, and so it is the sticker there. But then look at this brim. Oh man, it almost glistens. It looks like glacier almost. A really pretty brim there. I like that brim a lot. I think it goes really nice on the outside of the cabin. Of course, when I tilt my head a little bit like that, you can see it. So I think the brim looks great on this cap. And so if it had been up to me, I probably would have made it white instead of an off-white. I just think that looks better. When I think of winter, I think, like most people, I think of snow. Where I'm at here down in the south, we don't get a ton of snow. It's hit or miss year to year, so we may get it, we may not. You just never know, because because right now where I'm at, it's late in the evening, but it feels pretty good. It's in the high 60s, so definitely no snow today. But this is how it is for most of our winters. Now it can get really cold. Now the Northerners and the Midwesterners are going to make fun of me saying really cold, but we do get down in the 20s, and that's really cold to me because I've lived here all my life. So in the South, so I think that's pretty cold. But I'm also on blood thinner. Just so in my defense, it feels really cold to me when it drops down below the 30s. But like I said, it's hit or miss as far as our snowfall. We can have a little bit some years, and some year we just totally don't have anything. But still, so I would have chosen, because I still think of snow, I think, like most people do when they think of winter. So had it been up to me, which of course it wasn't, I would have went for just the all white. I thought that would have looked just the really deep looking white, but I still think this cap looks really good. So of course, as I did show you, I did of course get the pen because I thought this was just a beautiful, really nice looking pen with this cap. Oh, and it also, before I forget, sorry to turn away from the camera there, I forgot this was up here. This actually is the dust bag. So it did come with a dust bag, and as I've stated in prior reviews, I love when Boston Scally includes the dust bags. I think they're such a cool addition to their caps, and I think it's such a great storage option, especially when you start collecting maybe you start getting a little too many of these things, if that's possible. So there, you kind of run out of space really quickly, is what I have found out. So I think these dust bags are just such a great option, because then all you have to do is buy a hanger, like a hook or something off Amazon, and or your local stores, those still do exist, and then you just hang it in your closet, on the rack, and I think that's the easiest way for these caps to be stored, and the most accessible. I wouldn't want to put, I don't want to put them in a box, because I like to wear the caps. Of course, now I'm not going to be wearing the Christmas caps again for quite a while, so that I understand, but I really like this winter rose cap because, again, this is one of, to me, I know now Boston Scally, they say they have a lot of winter options, but to me, they kind of don't. I don't think a lot of their caps just scream winter time. But this one does. I think this one does. Even with the off-white, that's my criticism of this cap, because I would have went for just the pure snow looking white on it. But, obviously I still think that this is a really, really good looking cap, and I still really like it a lot. I have a friend who's just getting into Boston Scally, and he texted me and he was like, have you seen the new winter rose? That's a great looking cap. And this is when I was still kind of indifferent about it. I was like, yeah, but now that I do have it, I'm like, yeah, I'm glad I got it. And these caps, and this probably goes not just for Boston Scally caps, but for most caps, I think until you do get them and you see them for yourself, they always look better in person. I think that's just going to be the general rule. But I will say that this cap, if it's a little snugly, I do have a couple of other the rose caps from Boston Scally, and to my knowledge, this is at least the 12th Boston Scally rose cap that they have put out in the rose collection. At least there are 12 on the site. A couple of them are sold out. I think the Majestic Rose is one that has been sold out for a long time now. And I'd love for that cap to come back, because I really do like the look of the Majestic Rose. A cool pen to go with that cap too. I just haven't got it because I don't have much else to put it on. So I will wait on the pen if they ever re-release the Majestic Rose. But for the time being, and I really like the Winter Rose. I think it's a really, really nice looking cap from Boston Scally. But this is one that the sizing, and I always do get a medium large, the sizing was just a little bit off for me on this cap. It's pretty snug, like I said. It's just, if I have to stretch it out, so be it. That's fine. I can do that. So that's it for me for the Winter Rose. It's a nice looking cap. I really do like it. And before I go, I just want to say thank you so much to my wife. She helped me out with the on the harmony part on the intro song, and then also the intro as a whole. She she helped me out with that as well. So thank you to her. I hated to ask her to do that. I try to do these intros and the videos by myself, just so I don't bother her with any more Boston Scally Scally stuff. But she was very gracious. So she helped out quite a bit with this video. And so thank you so much. I really appreciate that. So I'm going to go ahead and rate the Winter Rose from Boston Scally Company. I do rate from 1 to 5. 1 being the worst, 5 being the best. I'm going to give the Winter Rose by Boston Scally a 4. A 4 for the Winter Rose. This is a great looking cap, and it's a cap that I was not immediately drawn to. I did not want to pick this cap up right away, but like I said, with the insistence of my wife and my friend, I was kind of like, hey, maybe they're seeing something in this cap I'm not. And so once I did get it, I was like, okay, yeah, they were probably more leaning on the right side of this than I was. So I was just a little bit on the fence about it when I did see it originally when Boston Scally teased it and put it on their site. But I'm glad I got it because I really do think this is a great winter cap, which I said I don't think Boston Scally has that many winter caps in my opinion. I know they say they kind of do, but also this is not wool. This is polyester, so it's you know, I kind of expected wool, just since it was a winter cap, but it's, you know, even the time I've been sitting out here doing the review, it's pretty warm. Granted, it's pretty warm out where I'm at anyways, but it's a pretty warm cap, so no complaints there. So that is my my review for the Winter Rose. So if you do have any of the other rose caps, let me know. And if you do have the Winter Rose, where would you rank them among the rose collection? For me, I don't have a ton of the Winter Rose caps, but you know, it's probably midways up there. It's definitely middle ground, if not a little higher than that. Maybe, you know, closing in on top tier material. So I really like the Winter Rose. Thank y'all so much for joining me today, and I hope y'all have a great rest of your day.